Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your host is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Coy Mack and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
It's like, oh shit, we kind of just went into it, or let's just figure out something because we need something that's going to catch people's attention when they first start listening instead of just the
You mean like right now?
Oh shit. Oh, it's happening. Is this going down right now?
Oh yeah, it's happening right now.
Oh, it's happening.
That's how it goes.
That's what he said last
See,
time.
Michael keeps talking about like catching people off guard, but it's like I'll just start hit record, so he's already on and he doesn't even know it. It's great. I like being the guy behind everything, so I can do that. Start rolling, man. Just start rolling.
You have way more of a face than I do because you're all over our YouTube channel at the Hooch Podcast on YouTube.com. But
it's only because we haven't been we've been doing like the Too Long Didn't Care. I had been doing I with my wife being like super pregnant right now, like she's about to burst in a couple of weeks type of thing. Like it's I don't know if you've ever had to deal with pregnancy stuff, those that are listening and those around. I know Michael has had to do with it because he's got how many do you have? Do you have like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 that you don't know about?
I have my son.
I got one.
Hey,
he's like,
my supply is cut off, so I'm not having any more. So you don't have to worry about getting pregnant with me. You
hear that, ladies? He's free game. You can get it free of charge.
And I'm venereal disease free because I don't get down like that. So,
are you sure though? Do you really?
I'm positive. No, I'm really sure.
He's absolutely sure that he doesn't have any vanilla.
100% sure. I can bet my life.
I bet my life that it is. I don't know. This week and last week has been all kinds of nonsense anyway. If you haven't noticed with what's going on in the world, Prince Philip died. That was the thing.
I thought he was dead like 30 years ago.
No, he just died just recently.
Well, screw me then. I was wrong. But
right.
Deep down, do I care?
I mean, most of us probably don't. I mean, the guy is 99 years old. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to... I'm sure it's a big deal for England since they like their royals and everything, but we're Americans and we don't care. Like, honestly, like, people die and they're like, leaders die and we're like, okay, fine, that's an open seat. That's just how it goes for us. I don't know.
I mean, Prince Philip, yeah. Hooray, he's gone. Nothing against the man and what he did. Feel about him, but like me, I'm just like, oh well. Sorry.
Oops.
It happened.
Sorry.
It happened.
But I guess the one that does affect us would be DMX. That's the person who.
That's right.
It was like that's what we had. Like you as a young adult, and then me growing up as a teenager, DMX being there with his music. That was
slipping.
That was solid.
Can't get up. And you should have saw like DMX when they were bringing his body. The hospital was in the what do you call those vehicles? The hearse, whatever.
The hearse, yeah.
Transporting his body from the hospital to wherever they were going to take it. There were people out there going bananas.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he's definitely somebody a little bit more important to us as Americans than, say, Clarence Phillip, who was 99, and DMX was 50 years old. Like, dude, it's like, you're not that far from that. Like, that's got to be scary for you, don't you think?
Don't take the COVID vaccine. Yeah, what do you mean? I'm almost close to that. I'm not close to that. I'm kidding.
You're close to 50. Come on, man. Man. I don't know. How close are you?
Not close enough. I don't want to get there yet. But,
I'm far enough for that. I forgot how old I was recently. Have you ever done that? You ever just like forget how old you are? Like, what year is it? When's my birthday? Fuck.
I don't even celebrate birthdays. I don't know what I'm doing. I forget how old I am every year. I'm like,
that's actually a really good point. So my kid's birthday was yesterday, right? He turned 4, my 4-year-old. And my wife was like, you hate birthdays, don't you? And I'm like, no, I don't hate birthdays. I don't think about them. I don't think about birthdays. I mean, I
No.
think that's a military thing, because like after you miss so many birthdays, you're just kind of like, eh, it's
Eh,
another day, man. And it's
yeah.
it's a like same thing with holidays. When people are like, why don't you get into holidays? It's like, because I've missed so many of them, it just kind of became natural to not even think about what a holiday was or what a birthday was. It's something ingrained in us, not on purpose, mind you. It just is. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can really do about it.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. What about
true,
you?
man. I mean, over the years, I've been gone all the Christmases. No matter how much you try to make it, you know, feel like home when you're overseas, it's never really home. So you, like you said, you slowly over time start to look at a holiday as just another day. I've spent many
Yep.
birthdays overseas. It's just another day. It didn't. Oh, Sergeant Harris, is your birthday. You don't have to go on patrol. No, you was going out on patrol. Hey, Sergeant Harris, you got to take your squad out there on patrol on Christmas Day. It was just another
Yeah,
day.
yeah, that's
So
just another day. That's what happens.
just it was just
Yeah,
another
unless you
day
get
to
your birthday beatings, then those are a thing. The birthday
oh the
beatings.
pink bellies, I remember the
Yeah,
pink bellies.
yeah.
Oh man.
Those are fun. I don't know. It's one of those things that disconnects between like civilians and regular life. Thinking about it is the fact that like I don't know why I think about that. That I don't have an idea of how I should feel on a birthday. It's like I should be happy. I should be elated. Like you remember what it was like being a kid and having birthdays. It's like this
Oh
is the
yeah.
shit, man. This is the
You know?
bomb ass thing ever. It's great. But then you're in the military and then you lose that sense of reality of like what's more important right now, thinking about, what I'm doing out in the field or what I'm doing out here, downrange, or should I care about what holiday it is or what birthday it is? It's
Yeah,
tough. It's that little part of you shut off and you don't think about anymore.
it's tough. I'm gonna go off subject real quick, but my husky turned the doorknob and just opened the door and walked, looking like I was like, what the hell? Well, anyway, she opened the door. She learned how to turn the knob, and now
Oh,
she's
so
walking
she's a
around.
Velociraptor now.
Oh, yeah, she has to be because
Jurassic Park, she's doing it.
she's walking around like she's the queen now. Like, yeah, you silly
Don't all
humans.
huskies feel that way though? Like
Well,
honestly, like
huskies
I've never
are
met a husky that wasn't pretentious. So
yeah, they're watch and they figure things out. But back to the birthday stuff. Like as a
yeah,
kid, for me personally, I don't remember having a birthday party. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
like all my birthdays was just normal stuff, and I got a gift and probably got a cake. My grandmother, she baked a cake or something, but I
yeah.
don't ever remember having like birthday parties where your friends were there, all the people you know were there. I've never experienced that until I joined the military.
Mm,
And even in the military, like you said, just all that trauma and all that through the years, just birthday was just
yeah.
like, I don't really care,
What's a birthday? What does that really matter? When
It,
you're thinking about all the other things that are happening around you. Like I don't know. For me, it's something that I've never really fully adjusted. Almost 10 years later. You
yeah,
know,
I
I
agree,
that
man.
was that was another thing that really got me recently. Kind of like bringing up the whole like being a veteran and being out thing was the fact that how do I put that? I had it in my head what I was going to say, and then I forgot it. That's another issue: being
No, you
forgetful
gotta
and then
hit
having to
yourself. You gotta
remember
hit
shit.
yourself on the.
It's not.
You have to hit yourself on the side of the head. A lot of times it brings
It's.
it back.
I think adjustment for veterans is really difficult because, like, I can't help seeing how many guys just lose their purpose when they get out, and then they end up offing themselves, and that really bothers me. That I've seen so many obituaries, I've seen too many funerals, I've seen too many of these things where people just give up, after facing so much, just give up and then, end it. And I don't get it. Like, I think, as Dr. Peterson says, like men have to have purpose, especially guys like us who are like, alpha males. As much as the beta cucks don't want you to think about that, it's like there's no alpha males. There's only males, but it's like that's not true. There's a lot of men that have low testosterone levels at this point and making them females. So yeah, there are alpha males that exist, and they're the ones that are doing the hard jobs and doing the things that nobody else wants to do. But then
Mhm.
again, it's really hard for those guys to lose purpose, especially being in the infantry, and then trying to readjust themselves. This is my point I was going to get back to now that I remembered what it was, is that it's insane to be 18 years old and being thrust into war and expect people to just kind of figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's really difficult. How do you do that as a child? Like when you really think about it, when you're 18, 19 years old, being out on your first time, being enlisted, it's like, how do you, like, you have to put a lot of trust in other people, and if you don't have that trust of your NCOs, then like it's a really difficult time. Like I just was thinking about that recently.
So,
Something on my mind.
one of the things I can say is that you don't really adjust from the mommy or daddy status until you're about 25. At that
Yeah.
age, that's usually around the age where people kind of like, okay, I can do my own thing. So a lot of us veterans join the army or Marines, Navy, whatever.
Yeah.
So from that time, the military becomes your mother and father. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because you walk away from that life as a young adult to where now, your mentorship from your parents can get a little deeper and you know, a lot more. You can learn a lot more from your parents. Some parents, you wind up
Yeah,
leaving, you
that's
know?
true. Some people were just not meant to be parents, and I don't think we
Yeah,
talk
that's
about that
true.
enough.
So, you wind up leaving the house and you're in the military and everyone's equal. You're not getting coddled. You're
Mhm.
not getting babied. Then when you get out, you're searching for that. You're searching for
Yeah.
that thing that you left. So a lot of veterans are always reaching out because they're looking for something that they left at a very young age. I'm not saying all, so I don't want all veterans to get all up in arms and
Yeah,
everything.
don't get
I'm
don't get
saying,
upset about it.
yeah, don't get upset. I'm saying some. So some leave a nourishing environment to go into a more in your face environment. They do however many years in your face. When they get out, they're looking for that nourishment again.
Mhm.
This is why a lot of people that do commit suicide are either single, had a lot of issues when they were kids, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of deep seated issues within them, and then they just can't find what they're searching for anymore. So that was
Yeah.
my issue at one point, and now I'm just like finding myself again. And
I
um,
I hear you, man. Like that's kind of the thing. Is like I know it's kind of a serious topic, but I don't think we do politics all the time. So I wanted to do something that was more veteran related today because it's kind of important to the natural, like the national topic of what we're going to be talking about later is the fact that, like, I don't think I was prepared enough as an 18, 19-year-old going and enlisting and going off to war, let alone letting people vote at 16. Like, I don't know why that is an argument, period.
mhm.
Um, and honestly, I think we really need to reassess what we determine what an adult is. I really do. I think we put too much emphasis on 18 when I know there are kids that are still in their 30s, man. Come on. If we're being honest with ourselves, there are adults out there that are still kids and they haven't grown up.
Yeah.
They never did. So,
Yeah,
like,
I just I don't understand the whole 16-year-old voting,
mm,
shit or crap the left is trying to push. So
yep,
you're telling me that a kid can join the military at 17, but say he's 17, he's in because you get those, we've seen them,
yep.
17-year-olds. War comes up, he can't go. Why can't he go? Because he's
Yeah,
not 18.
it's
So
not
if
18 yet.
if a kid that joins the military when he's 17, but he can't go to war until he's 18, but you want to allow 16-year-olds to vote, then you're pretty much telling me that a 16-year-old is a tax-paying American and they should be able to join the military at 16 years old.
I mean, we already
because
push it with 17-year-olds. There's those guys that get those waivers. I mean, I had one in my platoon in
yeah,
boot camp, I think, and in the fleet where he was like 17. He was just turning 18 when he was deploying, and it's like he's still a kid. Like when you really think about it, deep down, he is still a kid. He hasn't even been off the tit long enough for him to make mature decisions. But you thrust these weapons into these kids' hands and expect them to make proper decisions. Like that's
yep,
the most insane logic I've ever heard. But it's also war is a young man's game. We've always said this. It's one of those things. Like I don't think as old as I am and as like broken down as my body is, I could go do war stuff. Like being out of shape and being broken down. I don't think that's possible. Like at a certain point in the infantry, like you just run out of years. Like there's not
yep.
there's like 10 years maybe that you get good at being an infantryman and then you're
And you
done.
start
Like
breaking
that's
down.
it.
Yeah, your body
Yeah.
starts breaking. So you know that what's that old saying? Beware of the old man that survived, and what is that?
In
Beware
a
the old
dangerous
man.
job. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beware the old
Yeah,
man that's been in a dangerous job all of his life. Like that's the guy you got to
yeah.
look
So
out
I
for.
was an
Like,
old man. I was an old man my last deployment. When I
yeah.
considered old, I base it off the age of my platoon when I was a platoon sergeant. So I was
When
38.
you last, yeah, you were 38 when your last deployment.
Yep. I
Yep.
was 38, 39, 38, 39, and
Mm,
going on 39. And the majority of my platoon, they were very young, man. They were all in their 20s. I was
mm.
the
Old
oldest
man.
guy, and I was out there climbing mountains and doing all types of shit.
Mhm.
So you just got to beware of these older guys too, man.
Yep.
Just if you can survive that in a young man's game and walk out without a scratch, those are the guys you got to worry about. And you have to worry
And
about
it
these young kids, that are 18, like you said, 19, 17, 18, 19, that have had before they're 25, 3 or 4 deployments.
yeah,
They
those
are
guys you
some
gotta worry about too.
deadly, deadly dudes, man.
Yeah, no
Like
kidding. I
fast.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I I don't know. It's a hard discussion because I think about it. I'm having another kid. I'm gonna have a daughter this time, which is another worry that I have to add on myself because like I don't understand how you deal with that other than give her the tools she needs to protect herself and then like make her give no shit for nobody. Like that's my plan. That's what I'm gonna do. Make sure she like puts somebody down if they're gonna try to do something to her. That's my plan. That's what I'm gonna do. Get her in
Yeah. So
jujitsu early age.
you just make sure you have the right round when shit goes down when she gets older. You'd be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Mike, I need you to come over." I'll be like, "What's up? My daughter's going on a date. I got you, dude. I'm
You ain't
scared of
drive up here
living
for that. Yeah.
shit." And you damn
Oh
right I
man.
would. And I'd be like, scared of living shit out of that dude that shows up at the door. I'd be like, "Hey, man, let me
I
tell you something."
I I just hope she looks like my wife instead of me.
I
Like
was
I
almost,
I, I
I
don't
was gonna say that.
bearded.
I was like, pray to God as she doesn't look like Coy with his beard
Yeah.
and
I hope she's like her mother and like, freckled faced and, responsible adult and very nice. She's like I always say my wife's the nicest person I've ever met and that she deserves better than me. For sure. But that's how you know you're in a good relationship is if you feel that way. It's like you could have done
well,
so much
she
better than this.
here's what I have to say about that. You guys are placed together for a reason. She accepts you for who you are. She accepts your faults. Everyone has faults. You know this.
Oh yeah.
And and as long as you guys accept each other's faults and you understand each other's faults and you understand what sets her off, she knows what sets you off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's the beauty. That's a perfect relationship. You know what I mean? Because you're not reading each other. You
Relationships are
already know.
hard.
Yeah, you
That's
already
just
know.
that's another question of like being an adult as like in the military is like these guys making decisions like not only are they going off to war to kill and we're supposed to give them the appropriate amount of like adultness to know not to shoot certain people, then we're like yeah you're totally responsible at 18 to go ahead and go marry somebody that's been a stripper for most of their life just so you can get
Right.
BAH and you know who we're talking about, the
Yep.
person. There's always that one guy or gal. I mean, there are Joes that'll marry each other just for the BAH. We know they exist. Same thing with Marines. We do it too. It's a
Yeah, we're
thing.
all the
It's a
same, and
really a
it's a
thing, man.
culture. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we might be in different branches. We might have different cultures within our branch, but the overall military culture is the same. You know, We
Yep.
all have that stupid private, or we all had that NCO, or we talk about strip clubs and marrying strippers and all this other stuff. So it's the
Yeah.
same culture, man. It's just like you
Ugh.
said, we will allow an 18-year-old to marry the first stripper at the local fucking, skank club or strip club and
Driftwood,
marry
or
marry
any of the
her,
other
but
places you can think of.
you want to tell these kids in Texas that they can't buy cigarettes? Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
You know, it,
I mean, I don't know. We need to unify the idea of what an adult is, right? I don't think it's 18. I honestly don't think it's 18. It's barely enough at 20, 21. But like at least then I
uh,
could understand.
I would
Like,
say the minute you start paying taxes, if you're working, and it's not every kid, if you're
mhm,
working, say you're 16 going on 17, so there should be like a boundary there. So you're going to be 17 when? Where I'm going to be 17 in 5 months. Okay, you can work. If you just turned 16
mhm.
now. But I think the minute you start paying taxes and Uncle Sugar's taking money out your check, you should be considered a
Uncle
preteen.
Joe's coming for your taxes, man.
Yeah, the
He's
minute
coming
the
for
minute
them.
Uncle Sugar, Uncle Joe's coming for your taxes, you should
Yeah.
be considered adult. That means you should have everything that adulthood offers because you're paying
Then my
taxes.
in my idea, I think they shouldn't be paying taxes until they're 20. Let's go with
Well,
that. Like let's just say no taxes till 20, right? They like you're not an adult until you're 20. Like at least. Like
and
21 we're at that point. Let's unify all these things. If you can't drink until you're 21, then you shouldn't be able to sign a contract to kill people at 18 or 17 at that. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if you're responsible enough to choose not to shoot a certain somebody or to make that decision to shoot somebody at 18, I think you should be able to drink. That's all we're saying. That's all
yeah,
I'm
so
saying anyway.
with Joe Biden talking about their no amendment is absolute, right? So
Yeah.
Joe, so how about we get rid of the 16th Amendment?
Oh
No
no, did
tax.
you had you yeah, the
Oh
taxes,
wait,
that was actually a good
yeah,
one. I was
yeah,
gonna say
get rid of
that.
the 16th Amendment because no amendment is absolute. So let's get rid of that. Well, no, why not? All right, let's get rid of the 14th Amendment, like you were insinuating. Oh, you want to get rid of the 14th Amendment too?
I thought that was the
You want to
13th that you're thinking
the
about.
fourth? Or I'm sorry, the 13th Amendment. So you want to put us back in chains?
Yeah, because you shared the yeah, you put that video of that TikTok and that black chick's like, "Wait, what? No amendment is absolute? The 13th Amendment making no life for slaves." And it's like, "Wait, are we bringing back slavery because no amendment
Is
is
absolute?
solidified?"
Yeah, that
No
means no
amendment
amendment's
I mean,
absolute.
technically he's not wrong. No amendment is absolute, but you have to jump through a major amount of loopholes in order to get it. But what we're talking about in terms of the Second Amendment is the Bill of Rights. We're talking about the inalienable rights that they put on these amendments. The first few amendments was the things that were given by our Creator, our endower of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Anyway, so okay, I'll take it over from here. He's off. Anyway, so these are things that are given to us, right? These laws that are inalienable that everybody has for themselves. Like no amendment is absolute. Sure, we'll go with that. But the problem is that defense is something that is given to us as human beings. We are not somebody that you can just take away our rights to defend ourselves. Same thing with the First Amendment. You can't just say that the First Amendment is something that can be changed because we are all given the right to speak our minds, regardless of whether it's given to us through laws or not. Same thing with self defense. Self defense is one of those things that are an inalienable right
That's right.
to human beings. Look at the little chocolateness.
That's
It's
Petunia. No, she got out. That's
Petunia.
why I ran over there.
I know
Big
because you
man
lost
was
her
like,
last time and she like
yeah,
ran
she,
off.
I don't know, so inalienable rights, right? So I
Yeah.
don't think the government has the right really to tell us to do anything that we're not harming someone or harming ourselves. So if I'm
Yep.
doing something that's harming myself to where it's going to cost the government to treat me, they should have a right to step in and say, hey, can't do that because if you go to the
Yep.
hospital, we have to pay for that and we're not going to allow you to do that. When it comes to harming other people, that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But
It should be. It should be, but it's not. It really
when it
isn't.
comes, yeah, when it comes to the Second Amendment, it says right there, shall
Yeah.
not be infringed.
shall not be
period.
infringed unless
Period.
2/3 of the states decide we want to get rid of this amendment, which is what you would have to take in order to do that,
Mm,
which you're not going to get it. There's
yeah, it's
no
never gonna
way
happen.
you're getting that passed. You thought prohibition was bad when they got rid of alcohol through the amendment process, which is so dumb. Like why would we make a constitutional amendment getting rid of alcohol in the first place is
It's
beyond me. That's not one of those things that you need an amendment to the Constitution for, is like getting rid of alcohol or getting rid of guns. Those aren't things that belong in the Constitution. That right of self-defense is ours to begin with. You can't just give it to us. That was the whole point of the Second Amendment. That was the whole point of having freedom of speech and being able to gather, was the fact that the government can't give you the right to do those things. You already have those rights to begin
right.
with. And so for people that are like, Joe saying and that no amendment is safe, that's exactly what he said, and that's exactly what he means. Like, the First Amendment's not safe. Even though you think that they'll never come for the First Amendment, you are fucking insane to believe that.
Exactly.
Like, same
So
thing with the second. Go
you
ahead.
look at it right now. These First Amendment, censorship, the First Amendment censorship that's going on in
Yeah.
all these major social media platforms. That's just a taste of what they can do.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what
and
I
it's
mean?
it's not just us. There was a liberal recently who was met at the door of his home by the FBI because he criticized AOC on Twitter, and he's a liberal, not a conservative, a liberal.
So here's what I don't understand. So we elect these officials, right? Why
Yeah.
does the government send government Gustapos to question you about a comment? So
Yeah.
a fucking cunt, and I don't like her. And you can
I,
freaking
I I think
block that out. You
yeah.
can beep it out. I don't care. They can come to
You know
my
we don't
door
do that here.
and I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna be like, and you're a fucking piece of shit for coming to my fucking house questioning me about the words that come out of my mouth. I think Joe Biden is a piece of shit.
Right.
I'm not saying I want
And
to do
okay,
any harm. I'm just saying he's a
unless
piece of shit.
yeah, he is. But I was gonna say is like unless you were threatening a politician with their life, like saying, "Hey, I'm going to kill X person," that's illegal. You can't do that. That's terroristic threatening. You cannot do those things. But you can say somebody's a piece of shit. You can say I'm a piece of shit. You can say Michael's a piece of shit. Right? You can do all
Yep.
of those things. But I can't say, "Hey, I'm going to kill you," because then like that's illegal. You can't do that. But I'm saying you have the right to say that somebody's a piece of shit and not get in trouble for that. And what he did with though, what was funny is he lightly criticized AOC. He was on her side in all these policies, but he lightly criticized. Lightly.
And here's the thing: it's like I don't even know why we give two shits about AOC or Elon Omar or all these other
Ilhan
politicians
Omar.
that
Yeah.
don't live in your state. Like sometimes I look at AOC, I was like, who gives a fuck about you? Why are you talking about Texas right now? Like, what are you going to do
Because
for us?
that's the thing, is like people don't seem to understand how politics actually work. So local elections are all the things that decide what happens in your local area. What happens in your city, what happens in your state is all handled by local politicians. Congressmen and senators represent you at a federal level. They represent
Hmm.
you at federal levels for federal things, not for state run things. So when they are always running on policies that is like, in our district we need X things, they're not the ones that are actually going to be able to get that for you. Those are your city councilmen, those are your state senators, state congress people, those like state legislature. Those are the people you need to pay attention to if you really want to change the things that are happening in your daily life in your city and in your state. Federal, totally different thing. But if you expect them to fix anything in the federal level, you're fucking insane. You have better luck getting things fixed at the state level than you do at the federal level.
Yep. I
Like,
just don't
just
agree
hands
with
down.
I don't agree with the federal level telling Texas we have to do X, Y, and Z, or
Yeah.
California or Ohio or Oklahoma, wherever you live. I just don't agree with that. This
Yep.
whole, and then we talked about this episodes ago about this whole farce about the United States of America.
These United
America,
States.
yeah, each state is their own entity. You
Yeah.
know,
They have their own sovereign states. You put it that way.
yeah, they're sovereign. So
They're
we
sovereign
all have
states,
our
yeah.
own flags because if we were the true United States, we
Hmm.
wouldn't have our own state flags. You know, we would only
That's true.
fly one flag. There would be no state flags. We're the United States. Each state is their own sovereign nation.
Yep.
Agree with these presidents and these governors and outside of where I live telling us what we have to do.
Well, that's the
You know?
thing. The same thing with the whole wokeness in Georgia, like them lying about the Georgia law, like completely. Like
Right.
if you haven't been following the Georgia law thing, it's an absolute lie. And the fact that like Delta and all these other people are in like what was it the what was who's boycotting it? Was it the NBA? I don't remember.
MLB.
The MLB. Okay, so the
Yeah.
I thought it was the MLB, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's
So the
MLB.
MLB is saying that they're not going to have their game there because of the
All Star
Georgia
game.
law.
Yep.
Yeah, the All Star game. Which is insane because like they moved to a place that has even more strict laws in Colorado
Hmm.
for their game over Georgia. Like the Georgia law has a lot of compromises in there that allows for more people access to voting, even expands mail-in voting. But they're saying it's a racist law to keep people from voting, and it's always the black community. You notice that is like when they look at Georgia and they go the black community in Georgia is that they're trying to repress the black vote, and it's like how are they trying to repress the black vote? I mean, is there anybody out there saying that you can't vote like physically? Like we think back in the days of Jim Crow where they were actually beating people in lines. Like that's repression of the vote. Asking for an ID is not a repression of vote. Like that's just how it is. I mean, Michael,
And
you
oh
go through
yeah.
this.
And so I posted a video was about how all these liberals at this college were talking about how black people aren't smart enough. They don't have access to internet. We don't have access to this, that,
Fucking
and
racist
this.
as shit. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
race. You saw the video, right? I posted
Yeah,
it,
yeah. It's
and
it's that
then
It's that Army Hammer video. I've seen it a
yeah,
few
the army
times
ham.
over the
Yep,
years.
and then it's an older video, and
Mm.
then he goes to Harlem, and he's asking all these black people. They're like, "Do you have an ID?" Yeah, I have an ID. You know, all these black people are like,
Who doesn't have an ID,
"Eh?"
man?
Like, who doesn't have an ID? IDs. When I got my first ID, it was free.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of IDs work. I mean, you can't even get, any type of check, beer, wine,
Yep.
whatever. You can't get it without an ID. And then for them to say
Yes.
black people can't figure out how to get IDs,
Black people
that's
can't
just,
figure out how to get IDs.
it's the white knight. Remember that? The white knight?
Oh
The
yeah,
tick.
the white knight.
Yeah.
It's one of the most racist things possible, but it just shows how racist the Democrats actually are, like leftist policies actually are, and critical race theory. Because like to, the fact that you think that minorities and specifically African Americans have no agency to be able to find themselves an ID or know where the DMV is or to, basically do anything for themselves. Like I like that one TikTok video of that one guy that was like knocking on the laptop like while Joe Biden was talking about voter
Uh-huh.
IDs, looking like he was like an ape man, just like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a Neanderthal. I don't know how to work technology. Like that whole business. Like it's a racist policy to think that African Americans would have no agency to be able to do things for themselves, and that white progressives need to save everyone from these poor people who are ignorant and are lesser than white people. Because that's the way it really comes across, if you think about it, is it's like neo-racism where we believe that minority people are lesser than the white population, therefore we must help them because they are lesser beings. We must help them become higher beings by helping ourselves feel better about ourselves. So we help them to find agency for themselves, which is ridiculous and
and
stupid.
and and here's the thing: a
Uh,
lot of them aren't willing to give up their status for their cause. Like, okay,
nope.
do you think, okay, I have a poor black family here, they have the same family as you, give your house to them or do this. So
Right.
it's all just virtue signaling, man, to the max. It's just, you ever like think about like meeting the ultimate virtual signaling boss at the end of a
Yeah.
video game? It's gonna be some
Yeah.
boss named Karen with a pink hat on, and they're doing this
The boss
banshee
named
scream.
Karen.
Yeah, they do the banshee scream
Oh man.
and everything. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, look, the best way you can help people that you think aren't as privileged as you, leave them alone. Let them figure it out.
Figure it the fuck out, man. Just do it
Figure it
yourself.
out. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's everyone. Sorry.
Oh, jeez, the dogs are coming. Who let the dogs out?
Yeah. Who let their dogs out?
But back to what we were saying is like it's definitely one of those things of agency when it comes to progressives and them saying that black people can't figure it out. That's basically what it comes down to. Is like why do you believe that black people and minorities can't figure it out? Everybody else does it. Everybody else does it in their daily life, and that like there's nobody out there that just doesn't have an ID because they can't figure out how to work because everybody has to have an ID in order to work. So why do you think that that's a racist policy? And if you really thought that that was a problem, like Dan Crenshaw said on Joe Rogan recently, if you really thought IDs was a problem, let's work on the issue to get people IDs then, right? Because that's
Exactly.
a bigger problem than voting is if people don't have IDs. Like if we need to get free IDs to people, let's give free IDs to people. But there's no reason we should be able to enact voter ID laws and give people free IDs at the same time. Like we can do those at the exact same time,
And and
and
and
it's
and you're
fixed.
you're 100% right. It's so easy, man. Like look
Yeah.
at the DMV. Look how fast you can get an ID card. So I show up to a voting place. Say I didn't have an ID. I'm like, hey sir, I don't have an ID. Do you have any other form of identifying yourself? I have my social security card. Okay, here you go. Boom, 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 boom. Is this you? What's your name? Tell me your name. Blah 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 blah. They print your ID right there on the spot. All right, sir, you can go in and vote. Ma'am, you can go in and vote. But they're calling the laws racist without a solution. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah,
don't
I
get
know
it.
exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know, and it is. It's an absolutely insane type of thing that they decided that hey, this is what we're doing, like this is how we're describing it. So it seems silly to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we'll get over it one day.
One of these
I
days.
promise you. No, I promise you we will.
Michael, what do you think about what's happening with the new shooting in Minneapolis? I think is what it was. You saw that one?
Yeah, so yeah, I saw a flash of it. I'm not on Facebook too much unless the Hooch has posted something or I try to reply to other things. But I don't really follow too much news too much. But my thing on these mass shootings or whatever mass whatever they want to call them. You notice how from when COVID started all the way to now or beginning of the year there was no mass shootings.
Yep, I did. I did notice that.
Yeah, there was how many mass
And
shootings
now there's
happened?
tons of them.
Now there's tons because they're realizing whoever's in charge of this shit show we call America right now, uh, whatever his name is, Mister Hunter Biden, whatever his name is, but uh, why
Mr.
all of a
Joe
sudden
Biden.
after COVID started dropping and people started opening up, we have all these mass shootings. You notice that?
Yeah, yeah, I
Because they're
did.
trying to keep people in fear. They're trying to scare people. They're like, COVID's not working anymore. People aren't going to get a vaccination. What do we have to do? Oh, let's kill a couple people and we'll blame it
Let's
on
kill a
some
couple people. That's the
random.
way that we're doing it. We just kill people.
That's
Like that's it.
guaranteed how they sit in their little office
Oh
drinking
man.
their freaking, Chardonnays and shit. They're like, oh, well, maybe we can just go to Walmart. Walmart's not that great of a place. We just killed two or three people and we blame it on the guns. Yeah,
Kill them. It's fine.
yeah.
We'll do
The
that.
AR-15 and all this stuff. The AR-15 is no different than a semi-automatic shotgun. I know people that can
Right.
shoot a bolt action gun as fast as a semi-automatic. So I mean, what are they
It's
doing?
true.
I mean, there's something going on right now. Joe Biden, I don't even know who that guy is. I don't respect him. I will never respect him. And hopefully he's a one-term president. And hopefully he
I
gets
I
as a
I I think he will be definitely one term, but I think he's probably going to be a half term. Honestly, if we're like really looking at it like this, like it's going to be half term. It's not. He's not going to make it a full term.
yeah, I think his mental issue, dementia and everything that he tries to deny. But yeah, I think there's going to be a big shift in the political spectrum. So come 2022, 2023, you're going to see a lot of independents that voted for Joe Biden. They're going to be like, we made a mistake. And then they're going to
You
look
think?
at Kamala. Oh, yeah. They're going to look at Kamala Harris and be like, hell no, we didn't want her to begin with. So now they got rid of Joe under the 25th Amendment because that's what they're going to push. That's why Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi was talking about the 25th. And they're going to push him out. Kamala's going to become president. And people are going to be like, nope, she's definitely not getting reelected because nobody wanted her to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really wanted her to run to begin with. She didn't get any delegates in the first place, so
That's right. She
yeah,
got like
she's
1% or 1.2%.
she got like no delegates. She got 0 delegates. Tulsi got more delegates than she did. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we'll see, man. Hopefully, I don't wish bad on anyone, especially the president, but I just don't see this guy fit. I really don't see him fit to be president. Like, I don't know what
Nope.
he's done. There's not one Democrat that can tell you out there right now why they voted for Joe Biden without saying Donald Trump.
That's basically all it is. Is
Yeah.
Donald Trump? That was it.
Yeah. They hated him. So
Yep.
whatever. You reap what you sow and enjoy.
You know what you
Enjoy it.
know? My lights are giving me issue today. I need to fix that. It's
Oh,
gonna
that's
mess with
cool.
it. Yeah. No, I think it's a kind of a good spot to leave it for this episode. We definitely went straight this time, and usually do a break in the middle, but hey, whatever. It was a good conversation. Anyway, Michael, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
So hey, make sure you guys checking me out on TikTok. We also had Coy Mac has a TikTok too. It's Coy Mac.
Yeah, I barely do anything on there though.
Yeah, he was trying to be very witty. She opened the door again. You gotta be freaking kidding me.
She's down with it, man. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, so make sure you guys check out my TikTok videos. Check out Koi's. He posts a lot of the Hooch stuff on his TikTok, and I'm on Facebook.
Because I'm a very boring person usually.
No, he's not. He's just got to get that. He's got to get that content in there.
I used to be witty as a younger individual, and then I just kind of like toned down as I got older. I think that's what it was.
You never lose that wit, man. That's something.
But see, that's the problem. Is like white people get old and black people never crack. That's that's how it goes, man.
That's right. Yep.
But
yeah,
no, definitely
check us out.
Yep, definitely do that. We'll start putting more of the episodes out. I know that I've been kind of lapse on the too long didn't care because like dealing with pregnant wife. She's at home now, working from home, so that's how like far along she is. She's about to pop out and she's like baby. So excited about that. So I'll try to get more of those out, and then I'll probably more than likely I'll maybe back to one a week on those, but at least getting the podcast out every week like we used to. But definitely keep a track of those. Anyway, you can always follow Michael and watch his shenanigans on TikTok. That's for sure. Like he's always on there. You won't miss any of his stuff for sure.
I'm trying. So we have some more collaborations coming up too. So
yeah,
look out for those. I'm working on those, and there's a bunch of podcasters on the TikTok, and they reached out. So we're gonna work on some stuff. It's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be great.
And I gotta redo my setup because my wife stole my chair and I have a couch now. So anyway, that'll be it for us this time, I think. So definitely check out the Facebook page. Go to YouTube as well to follow all the videos there. Go to Spotify, iTunes to follow along with the episodes, and then follow Michael on his TikTok as well. So it's been great, y'all. We'll see you next time. We love you, America. And we're out. You can't do it. We can never get it straight. It's fine.
I know, right?
See you next time, America.
All right.
According to your Facebook page, we aren't friends.